Alright guys, it is Friday, April 9th, 2021 at 6:47 p.m. Alright, let's start this off with a bang. We got Russia. Forces are amassing on Ukraine's border. Bluff or not, Putin is playing with fire. Alright, there's an image there of a satellite view of Pogonovo training area in Russia's Voronezh region close to the Ukrainian border. Alright. For any army given to making its moves, surely the best way to disguise a potential imminent invasion of a country is by overtly preparing for it. This is a paradox around Russia's visible buildup in its west, not far from the Ukrainian border, where Moscow, trying to reverse a military stalemate around the Donbas separatist region that it truncated from Ukraine in 2014, would it want to telegraph its moves so blatantly? Russia's signals are obvious. Relentless social media videos show armored convoys moving toward the general border area. These led to open-source intelligence sleuths spotting a congregation of likely hundreds of vehicles not far from Russia's city of Voronezh. This is still 100 miles from the Ukraine, but it is a sizable buildup that was captured on satellite images from the Maxar Technology Group. Alright, it says a buildup of vehicles in the Pongovo training area seen in Maxar's satellite image. The White House said this week that Russia now has more troops near the Ukraine border than any time since 2014, when the peninsula in Crimea was annexed. Further south, military intelligence reports have assessed more than 4,000 heavily armed Russian forces have been seen moving into Crimea, and the U.S. defense official told CNN. Moscow is also talking the game. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has announced snap readiness inspections for the army. The Kremlin's envoy to the conflict, deputy head of the presidential administration, Dmitry Kozak, said that Moscow would and has pretty much been implied come to the defense of Ukraine's eastern population if needed, and he said the start of the conflict would be the beginning of the end of Ukraine. Russia, excuse me guys, let me continue here. Russia's declarations are pretty noisy. For Ukraine's part, President Volodymyr Zelensky has moved some units closer to Donetsk and took a very high-profile trip to the area Thursday like Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Zelensky's domestic ratings are not healthy. He talked the language of peace. He tried to be close to the troops, aware that U.S. President Joe Biden has said he will stand by him. Okay, so the White House has said this is increasingly concerned by recent escalating Russian aggressions in eastern Ukraine, and U.S. officials have also hinted they might send warships to the Black Sea, a signal of increased involvement, even though the American aircraft have regularly been monitoring the area. German Chancellor Angela Merkel asked Putin to pull his forces back during a call on Thursday. Everyone is getting very excitable very fast. Speculation about what is to come next in the biggest land war in Europe in 2 decades is rife, as the Kremlin surely hoped it would be. Meanwhile, it's so close so far is fuel bill moving to a lot of tanks around. The key and yet unanswered question is what Russia's objective would be in a military intervention. Some analysts have speculated it might flood the separatist areas and adjacent conflict zones, while with a huge Russian peacekeeping force designed to impose its will and rules on the area, effectively annexing Donbas in earnest. Yet that would almost guarantee a Western response, likely at first in the form of sanctions. It would also achieve for Moscow essentially the same control it has now on these areas, albeit with a lot of expensive Russian skin and hardware in the game. It is all a squeeze with none of the juice, and probably not favorable for the Kremlin. Alright guys, so I'm going to leave this link for this article so you guys can check it out. That is what's happening right now with the Russian forces. Alright, let's go to the next story. We have more explosions could occur in the Soufriere volcano eruption, since thousands fleeing on Caribbean islands of St. Vincent. So we have the Soufriere volcano erupted Friday morning on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent, shooting ash several miles high into the atmosphere. Authorities reported a second, smaller explosion on Friday afternoon. The eruptions followed mandatory evacuation orders from the government. Roughly 16,000 people live in the red zone near the volcano and required evacuation across Escuchilla. Joseph, the director of the University of the West Indies Seismic Research Center. More explosions could occur, she said Friday morning, adding that it was impossible to predict whether any potential upcoming explosions will be bigger or smaller than the first one. So this is the area, St. Vincent and the Grenadines right here. St. Vincent, it is off the Caribbean islands, above South America, off in the Lesser Antilles on the right-hand side. So here is the islands, and the St. Vincent is this small one here, and here is the volcano on the top or the northern side of the island. So it says ashfall has already reached the country's airport and the opposite end of the island nation shortly after the first eruption. The country's disaster risk management agency said the heavy ashfall also was reported in communities around the volcano. Several flights were also cancelled, and islands, including the Barbados and St. Lucia and Grenada, prepared for light ashfall as the 4,003-foot volcano continued to rumble. There were no immediate reports of casualties. The volcano last erupted in 1979, and the previous eruption in 1902 killed some 1,600 people. 2 Royal Caribbean cruise ships and 2 Carnival cruise ships arrived Friday in St. Vincent to help transport the thousands of people who evacuated their homes. A 3rd Royal Caribbean ship was scheduled to arrive within the next few days. Islands that have said they would accept evacuees inside St. Lucia, Grenada, Barbados, and Antigua. Activity increased dramatically at the volcano starting on Thursday. A series of earthquakes were detected at the site, including magma rising from the surface. Gas and steam steaming from the volcano also started increasing, another harbinger of an eruption. So I'll leave the link to this article so you guys can check all the information and videos. Please pray for the people of Russia. Please pray for the people of St. Vincent having to deal with all this volcano issues and evacuations. Alright, next. Prince Philip, the Queen's husband, has died. And I was so sad when this happened today. It says, what you need to know, Prince Philip has died. He was 99. Philip, the lifelong companion of Britain's Queen Elizabeth, died at Windsor Castle on Friday morning following a recent stay in the hospital. Tributes pour in. The Duke of Edinburgh was remembered by world leaders for his charitable work and his dedication to public service. His funeral. The Duke's funeral will be held at St. George Chapel at Windsor Castle. The public has been asked to stay away from the funeral events because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, President Biden says he admires that Prince Philip never slowed down, even at 99 years old. U.S. President Joe Biden expressed condolences for the death of Prince Philip, telling reporters that the royals that he was a heck of a guy. Biden, speaking from the Oval Office, praised Philip for his lifetime of service to the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, adding, "We really do express our condolences for extraordinary life that was led by the Prince, and I think he's going to be missed, particularly in the United Kingdom." 99 years old, Biden added, "He's never slowed down at all, which I admire the heck out of it." So he pretty much admired Prince Philip being so strong for so long. Also, next, we have DMX rapper and actor dies at 50. We sadly lost another person. DMX, a rapper known for as much for his troubles as his music, has died. His family announced in a statement he was 50 years old. "We are deeply saddened to announce the tour that our loved one DMX, birth name Earl Simmons, passed away at 50 years old at White Plains Hospital with his family by his side after being placed on life support." So it says Earl was a warrior who fought till the very end, and the family continued. Excuse me, I'm trying to mute this. Okay. And the family continued. Let me see, where was I? Earl was a warrior who fought to the very end, and the family continued. He loved his family with all his heart, and we cherish the times we spent with him. The artist has been hospitalized since last week, and he suffered a heart attack at his home in New York, according to his longtime attorney, Murray Richmond. Artists, athletes, and other celebrities paid tribute to him in social media on Friday. So I'll leave the link for all the tributes and memories so you guys can check out on this page. Sadly, he passed away as well. So two big hits today for the Prince Philip and DMX. Alright, next let's take a look at the weather pages. We have severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for east central Texas and northern Louisiana. Destructive wind gusts, large hail, and a few tornadoes are possible throughout this evening. So, this area here, from Dallas all the way to Monroe, Pine Bluff, in Texas and Louisiana, is getting destructive wind and large hail, so please be aware of that. Also, this is the area right now for April 9th for 1 day convective outlook of where the severe weather is. The moderate weather is in Jackson, Mississippi, Monroe, Louisiana, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Meridian, Mississippi, and Greensville, Mississippi. The enhanced is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Birmingham, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, Shreveport, Louisiana, and Mobile, Alabama. Slight weather is Dallas, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and Arlington, Texas. And marginal has Houston, Texas, Detroit, Austin, Texas, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Nashville, Tennessee. So we have this whole area in the south and parts of the East Coast are going to be experiencing possibility of severe weather. And here is the 24-hour outlook for rainfall totals. So you see here between Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi, we have a lot of rain possibly falling in these 24 hours. So heads up for you guys out there. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more news. Thanks for stopping by and watching my channel. And please pray for the people in Russia, for the people in South America dealing with drought, dealing with the families of the lost people who passed away, Prince Philip and DMX. Please pray for them. They're going through rough parts right now, having to deal with the loss of loved ones. See you guys next time, and God bless you guys.